What's poppin'? What's going on? How's everybody doing? So much like I did yesterday, I'm going to start today off by doing some hooks. Probably just one. I already did the housekeeping today, which is why the stream is later than usual. So let's see how much shit we got to deal with today. Wow, So normally when I get this kind of error, it's telling me that there's an escaped brace somewhere. But that should not be the case. In fact, it does not appear to be the case. No, I definitely don't have time to start diving into AI editing today. Because I gotta work. I'll probably be trying it tonight, or at the very least, I'll be trying it tomorrow, because I'd like to make some AI updates. Oh, I guess that's why it was yelling at me. What the fuck is low D word? I guess this is set load. Is there a set load D word? Hold on. Is that even real? No. Never seen that before. Whatever. What do you think, Veek? What's a low D word? What I will say is the changes that appear to have taken shape in the last couple days have been pretty impressive to the back end of what's possible to make with AI. Like, you jokingly DM'd me about, imagine what Pinky would do with this stuff, who, for those who don't know, was responsible for some really insane workarounds to try to make shit that wasn't inherently feasible. Like, no human would ever want to actually program this stuff. He did. Now apparently you can just do that, so that's pretty cool. Well, I guess that was the entire hook. I don't know about that. Oh, great. We got a stack ARG on our hands, boys. My least favorite kind of ARG. ARG! Do we have an example of that in this file somewhere? Probably not. Well, time to go find another inject file that I can copy the homework of. Oh, here we go. All right, I sort of get this. Then I should do move. It's A2 EAX, right? Oh, I have to do this first. Although the 0x08, I'm not sure if that needs to be... Is that supposed to be 4 times the number of args minus 4? Or something like that? Fucking register math. I don't know why I didn't want to peek that time, but whatever. Alright, so here we have move EAX. Oh yeah, this has to be like move ZX? Or no, I don't know, something like that. Oh, that's probably unrelated, actually. It wouldn't even throw an error. It's just that I haven't defined it in here. Do we even have a U64 type setup? I assume not. Yeah. So it should be what? No. I don't know. Because the original line was taking the low first 32 bits and assigning 0 to them. I don't know how to do that, since there's no byte operations for D words, just words and bytes. Besides, I thought D words were an int, just by themselves. Thinking. Oh, I didn't realize the Savant had a decloak button still. Oops. Right, but every single time I've seen a D word in the IDA, and I've been like making a hook, iQuery has just said, yeah, that's an int. So that's what I changed it to. Or he said that it was fine for me to change it to an int. But if it's not actually an int, I wonder if that's a problem or not. This is a long time ago, though. So, like, you know, the IDA sometimes spits out like underscore D word. That would be changed to double underscore int. Well, no, just int, I think. Oh no, I've reached the limit of the standard format somehow. How about now? Bitch. Oh, fuck. How about now? Bitch. There we go. Bye. Okay. Get a little bit of that real quick. Oh, wait. Question is, does it build? Okay. I guess it always has to be Mauve. Pranked, in my opinion. Cool, there will be no nops needed for this one. All right. Easy enough. Oh, looks like I closed that by accident. Oh, this is actually hooked, so I don't need to do that. Oh wait, yes I do. That wasn't the same thing. What a goofball. Pranked. Excuse me. Well, that was easy enough. Oh, it should be 10. I think. Because it's in hex, right? Maybe it is 12? Because 12 would be the decimal, but I don't actually know if I need to put that in hex or not. Well, we did it, sort of. See if it builds. All right. It wasn't too many, you know? What's this one look like? Ah, this one's easy. I guess we'll do it too. Cool. So I think that's good. Yeah, I know it's hex if you start with 0x. My question at the time was figuring out whether it was supposed to be... like, whether I should be doing the hex for 12 or the decimal for 12, since we use decimal for some of this stuff. But maybe it doesn't matter. At least it doesn't seem to. I wonder why it's rebuilding a bunch of stuff now. All right, so I've done my token 3 hooks. We only have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We only have 10 more, so if I continue at this pace, we'll probably be done in about 3 days. I can do like one more tonight or something when I get home. And then we'll have everything we need for stasis field and D-matrix, presumably. That will be cool. So earlier you said that it had to be EAX no matter what? So should I be doing move ZX EAX instead of move AL? I think that's what I did earlier, so I guess that's what I'll do here. Just to be on the safer side. It's weird to me though because it wouldn't allow me to do that trick over here. I had to do move A3AL. It no matter what, it was saying no. No, 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 no. Yeah, so I guess it was because it was returning specifically. It was like that or something. I don't know. Right. I'm not writing that again, so... Since I just built this, I'm gonna see if I run into any crashes. I won't actually know about the restore thing, unfortunately, because the AI will never use restore. No, crashed the desktop immediately. I love the silent crashes with no lead at all. Hmm. So this one is crashing. That's probably because of my shitty fucking... I'd probably fucked this up if I had to guess. Oh. That might be why that's happening. That's actually supposed to be for the third ARG. No, never mind. Move SX, by the way. Not ZX, move SX. What function even is this? Wait. Why did I randomly get all these things again? Add guard AI to unit. It crashed on that, and it doesn't crash in the case where the hook is not called. The get unit strength hook. Well, this one was super easy to implement, so I don't see how there could be any issues, but... I wonder if it's because I have a hook that I'm calling instead of a regular function. I mean, that one where we actually know that this one works fine, so I guess that doesn't really make any sense. It's not like it's a defective hook, because that's been running for a while now with no issues. What a strange variable name. Ground air. So if the current hit points and shields are less than the maximum hit points and shields, it returns immediately. Or specifically returns 0 for some reason. But why? Let me just make sure I have the right situation here. That is max shield points. That's pretty much the only thing that I eyeballed there. I don't know. This seems like a very straightforward function. A little goofy, but... Oh, I guess it's assigning a value of 0 to a strength value of 0 to any hallucination that has less hit points and shields than the maximum for that unit. I don't know. That seems like a really weird thing to do. You know, I don't know why. Anyway, all I know is that something in this function is, well, okay, something is crashing a different function that I have no information, like I haven't hooked or anything. I mean, maybe it's hooked somewhere else, but it's crashing the function that's getting guards to do their thing. It's crashing at this instruction, which is EAX plus. I don't know what that means. This looks like EAX is the unit. So it's grabbing the fuck? Can I refresh or something? What the fuck? Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Thanks. I think I'll just go ahead and restart the program since it's throwing errors in comments. What do you mean, look at it in IDA? Of course I looked at it in IDA. That's what I literally have the function right here. Yeah, that was psychotic. It looks like it's trying to get the unit's target, and that's where it's crashing. It's crashing on checking the unit's target. Oh wait, hold on. Maybe I have this wrong. Yeah, it looks like it must be. I don't know. No, it's crashing on a line in another function entirely that is checking for... Well, it's moving the unit's target to EBX. I mean, I could double check this anyway. Well, move target unit. I mean, this isn't, the assumption is that this is even the case. This might actually be the unit's sprite or something. So ECX is a unit. Oh wait, this is the wrong function. ARG1 unit, by the way. Yeah, so this has nothing in the registers, as a matter of fact. What the fuck? Alright, so EAX is the unit. Yeah, so EAX is a unit. Oh, and then it becomes the unit's sprite. Okay, so that's why I'm getting confused. Position 2, so it's checking position Y, I guess? It's checking its Y position and crashing? I don't know, that's the only thing I can think of. You mean the C representation? In IDA? Dude, imagine casting a sprite to CAI controller, by the way. What the fuck? This is fucked. The IDA fucked something up here pretty big. I don't know what's going on, but... I also don't know why, in particular, I don't know why this would throw errors in a function that's completely unrelated. Like, it's not even something that seems to have anything to do with it, so maybe I really fucked up with my assembly. That's pretty much the only thing I can think of. I'm corrupting shit in other functions entirely or something. So for now, I'll just disable it. Yeah, I don't really know how to do the whole, like, the pushing of stack args. I've mostly just copy and pasted other people's stuff, so... I don't know if I'm supposed to sub ESP 0 times C instead of 0 times 8. But in another function, they had... Well, they had to push arg... They had to push the second and third arg. Whereas I only have to push the third arg. So maybe I should just change it to C, but... I'm only ever pushing one arg at a time, so... Helper functions push stuff in reverse order. I don't know what that means. I've always pushed them in A1, A2, A3, etc. for everything, and I've never had issues. So I know that's a thing you're supposed to do in assembly sometimes, is push them in reverse order, but I've never done that for helper functions. So I should be doing it like this. This has never changed anything for me, so... Why? Why? Why, Visual Studio? Why do you just have random hotkeys for shit instead of it being normal? Oh. Well, I never have more than one push. Actually, that's not true. I do have some more than one pushes. So I don't have to change anything then. Because moving them is not pushing them, so... There's only one push ever in any of these. So. I don't know about you, but I don't see any obvious errors. There's nothing in the functions that are crashing that have stuff like that, it looks like. There's one at the very bottom, but it's for a function that has not crashed the game, so. Oh, here we go. But what is this for? Trying to supply internet info? This is the one that's causing the weird crash. I mean, the others also, depending on which one you're talking about, the others also crash. But this is the one that's causing the weird crash. And probably it is incorrect, but I've never done stack args before, so I don't actually know what to troubleshoot. I'll leave the start screen for a second. I gotta use the bathroom. Hi. Push EAX before using it and pop before push AD. Okay. So something like that. Oh, you mean way up? Oh no, that's fine because that's reading to it. When you say writing to it but not using it, do you mean the fact that I move? No, I do use it. It's down here. So I move arg to EAX, and then I move the lower byte of EAX to A3, which is a bool. That's what I do. Well, when I do that, it says operand size conflict. So should I write this as an int instead and then cast it as bool when I am hooking it or something? Like, I'm not really sure how to implement this without it. But literally everything does moves EX, EAX, result, or whatever, so I don't know. Or move EX. You just said, looks like AL should be EAX. And now you're saying I can replace EAX with AL? Yeah, that's what I just had. I had A3 AL. Listen, man. I'm getting mixed signals, okay? Let's do an unboxing. But right now it's more of an unbagging, but that's okay. We got here the solution to my noise problems. We got 2 Be Quiet fans. There you go. That was the unboxing. I have 140 millimeter and 120 millimeter. I'll be plugging those in at some point because fuck my case fans. They're too loud. So before you said anything about anything, you said looks like AL should be EAX. To which I assumed you meant move A3 AL should become move A3 EAX. AL is the lower byte of EAX. It is part of EAX. It's part of the same register. It is the same register. It's just the lower byte of it. So I'm not sure what you mean. Why would I need to mess around with AL specifically in other contexts? Are you saying that I should change this to move AL and then the arg? Did you think AL was a different register or something? I guess that would explain the confusion. Oh, I've got to kill my Explorer EXE again. We didn't change anything besides adding the push EAX and pop EAX. But if you say it should be good, I'll test it again. Meanwhile, Iquare fighting the good fight against lard code to try to implement something. Ah! No, still crashes in the exact same position, of course. Well, I guess we'll do our classic test where we set the result to 0 every time. Nah. Even setting the result to 0 results in the same crash, so it appears that it is an issue with the wrapper, if I had to guess, since we're not even calling the hook, so... If I just disable the jump patch, you mean? Then nothing happens at all and we're fine. Oops. Well, not exactly what I intended to do there, but... See? New problems. I'll also apply those changes. We're push EAX and copy. Oops. Anyway, we were still able to make some progress. You know what that means? We get to have a party. I have a little over an hour, so I guess I actually can try to dive into the changes to the AI pipeline. I can try to make changes to my AI pipeline, rather. Let's find your fucking documentation here. Should probably add a question mark to the top there. Alright, so let me get this straight. Where even are we? Did I not pull the latest changes? Here we go. Okay. So it looks like what we're going to be doing... I'll take the Terran stuff for a spin for now. And we're going to try our damnedest to separate this stuff out into functions that we can use. And we'll see what we can do there. So anyway, the real heavy hitter is the preprocessor, from what I understand. Yeah, that'll be a big deal. I'm trying to wrap my head around this stuff, so... executes macro, multi-block, or call block. Okay. So if I'm getting this right, I will set up a... I guess I'm gonna have to, like... Oh, Notepad, you still haven't fixed your fucking file structure. Folder navigation. Okay. So, if I'm getting this right, we have exclamation point, which, as in this example, is actually telling the AI, well, it's actually telling the processor to do the multi-block, right? Or whatever, so I'm not actually sure what multi-block is. Hold on. Declares a block at the end of the file and multi-runs it. User is meant to include, stop, or return, depending on the use case. I would say write, because obviously include is now a feature, so you want to be a bit more specific. So you would say, basically I would write multi-block. So in the multi-block itself, I'm basically writing a function, and I would write like, say, multi-block defense generic. And we'll say unit type, unit quantity. And I would do like defense build GG. Let's use GG. And it would be unit quantity, unit type. And the same would be over here, I guess. And then return. Is that right? Well, I would want to call it. Is there like a call block? Oh, there is. Okay, so it would be, in this case, it would be call block instead of return multi-block. But okay, so this would be correct. And then in order to access this, I would write like, say I have like def loop. Marine 2. What is an argument then? Or do I just write unit quantity, unit type with nothing? Because in your example, you write equals minerals check -1 at block. Oh, percent. Okay, so we would use percent for that. All right, so if I wanted to do like unit quantity +1, I would have to do that would have to be an equal sign. Well, in your example, you have resources 13 at most, or equals minerals check -1. I assume because of the -1, that's why you have it as equals. Quantity is just the quantity of units that I want, so I'm sending 2. And so if I wanted to add something to the quantity, I would have to do equals, but if I was just using the quantity with no changes, I could rely on percent. And it wouldn't matter. Or should I always do equals so that if I decide I want to actually add, do some math to it or whatever, that'll be fine? This is definitely way easier, though. Like, you basically are designing functions, which is what you should be able to do. One of the only good things about working within Warcraft 3's AI system for the limited amount of time that I did is that I could just design a function like wait rand or something that would randomly pick between two numbers, and I could call that function after writing it. So that's pretty fucking cool. So we basically have this functionality now. And so in defense, right? So I would just say something like so what I'm thinking right now is that I would actually want to define a bunch of functions in something like defense.asc3, and I would want to write them all in. Like in this case, we've got defense generic, and then I could do like call block, defense use, unit type, unit quantity, and I would do defense use GG, percent unit quantity, percent unit type, and then obviously return, and then defense build, unit type, unit quantity, defense build, GG. Well, I don't know why I would invert the thing there. That's my own dummy head. But something like that, and then I would do... I mean, in this case, I guess there's no difference between this and then just calling defense build or whatever, but in the case where you wanted to pair the two together, that would be an actual use case, and then... Oh, that's even easier. So, well, I guess it would be nice to have some way to know that you're calling it, but I guess you'll just have to keep track of that, or add like the defense generic call or something in the main thing. But in a case like this, we could do something like, can we do if statements? Is that something that we can do, or like, I don't know if we can compare certain things. Hey man, that's basically what we have. The only silver lining is that we'll be able to make AI a lot easier with this. Holy moly. Crazy fucking good. So what I was thinking about an if statement or something would be like if I don't know really what the syntax would be like that, but because the other thing is you're using exclamation point to call this stuff, whereas in normal situations exclamation point is like does not, or like it's the inverse, right? But then I would do something like can build, well, I guess would be oh, well, I guess that's the other thing, though, is I don't even know how I would structure this. Because I'm trying to figure out if I can build the... if I can build the unit. So the only way that I can think of doing that is evaluating the unit type and checking it against every possible case. So writing some sort of psychotic if-else statement where it's checking, do you have the the tech requirements for it? You know what I mean? So like, Hey, do you have a barracks? If no, you cannot build a marine. I don't know. That's a little rough. But I guess what we could do is we could have something like... Well, no, we can't even have no town's barracks. Oh, we can have no town's source structure. I guess we have to be like bring... Yeah, I guess it would just be no town's source. Blank return. So we'd have something like this. Why do you regret the day you wrote bring jump? It's a useful command, dude. I guess that's a reasonable reason. So I guess what I could do is I could have like... I guess it would be like... It would have to be something like this. I don't know if you can multiply something by another variable. And hopefully order of operations would take into effect here and it would do multiplication before subtraction. Unless I can wrap things in parentheses. So something like this would work as far as calculating ore cost times quantity and then subtracting 1 from that so that the at most would be functioning. Because that would be pretty banging. Now suddenly we can check for whether or not you have the structures to build a unit, whether or not you have the resources to build that quantity of units. Would it work in that context, or would I have to wrap the equal sign as well? You could probably find some way to actually, like... You could probably set it up so that the... Like, you would scale back the request count based on how many resources the player actually has. So this wouldn't really be used for defense as much, But if we were to make like an offense ASC3 file and we did something like attack max, do unit type, unit source, unit cost, or unit cost gas. We'd say no towns, unit source, blank return, but I guess we would have to say like, oh, can we even do multiplication of integers? I mean, I assume we can, but I'm not. So I guess it would have to be like attack add equals, and it would have to be like 1 times. Oh shit, I don't even know. Okay, it would have to be like, oh, fuck, man. Because what I'm trying to do is find a way to like tap into the amount of resources the player has in any current situation. Wait, why do you mean you're unhappy with Overlord? Because it doesn't have those units? Don't you have a bunch of your own units already implemented though? I think you said you only had to add a few unique like neutral ones. By include guards, I assume you're talking about like, oh, you can't if you include one file multiple times or something? Or if there's a nested include or something like that? Oh, nice. Well, yeah, but Hydra's been in production for years, so that only makes sense. Most of those units wouldn't even be possible. I would say all of those units wouldn't be possible without your help, so. Like, even if Veek and I banded together and actually implemented some units, it's only possible because you already did all this infrastructure work. Hey, but you don't have to switch to anything that I ask you to do. You can't just tell me no. I'm totally okay with that. Veek, can we do inline functions? Or inline operators or something? I don't even know what you would call it. Like, oh yeah, I would need to somehow like divide the current resource count by the unit cost or something. Oh, that is pretty good news. That means that once the Clarion is also implemented, we only have, I think we only have 4 more units to implement before Hydra is done for the time being. We have the Apostle, the I guess the Nathricor needs a little bit of work, or like its cone attack, but otherwise, I mean, it's at least rough cut implemented. So we need the Apostle. Oh, it's 5 units because the Cascathalor and the Alcagalisk. But other than those, it's just the Star Sovereign and the Augur. Pretty fucking cool. Was there just some insane issue with like air units using whatever method you were using, where there was some lard code? All right, I did see documentation regarding a range loop. Generates a loop using var as its iterator, ranging between min and max. I'm not really sure what var means in this. Is there like an example where you've used range? Range I 1, 5. Worker equals I. Oh, exclamation point worker, and then worker is a macro? Okay. So we would do something like macro train quantity, and it would be a what? Well, okay. Did I explain already what I was trying to do? What I'm looking to do is take the number of resources the player has and compare that to the cost of the... Well, basically, yeah, take the number of resources the player has, divide it by the cost of the unit, and then take the lower amount between two of those cases and use that as the unit quantity. So it would be something like so I guess it would be like range I honestly have no idea how to parse this one, so it would be like range yeah, how would I even divide that? Yeah, that's not at all what I'm trying to do. I don't know why you're multiplying it by 200? It would be 100 for 2 Marines. But anyway, what I need to do is I need to figure out exactly how many... Say I want to build a battlecruiser, which is 400 minerals and 300 gas. I need to be able to divide the amount of 400 mineral... Like, I need to take the resource count of the player, divide by 400 minerals, take that number, compare it to the gas cost divided by 300 gas, and see whatever is smaller is the number of battlecruisers that get requested. I mean, really, it should be more complicated than that, too. It should be like, how many idle production structures or soon-to-be idle production structures do I have? So I guess we don't really have that kind of flexibility anyway. But that would be what I would want to do, is like, what is the maximum number of units that I can build, given my current resources? But it's probably not that big of a deal right now anyway. So yeah. Anyway, this is... yeah, but how do you take the lower number, or the lower value between ore and gas cost? I need to be able to pick if I'm generating an amount of units to train, and my unit costs different amounts of minerals and gas, say it costs more minerals than gas, then I need to take the number of minerals that the player has, divide that by the mineral cost. Say I have 1,200 minerals. That means that will turn into 4, because I can build 4 battlecruisers in terms of minerals. And then I have 1,200 gas. Well, that turns into 5, because I can build 5 battlecruisers in terms of gas, because gas cost is only 300. But I can't build 5 battlecruisers despite my gas. I can only build 4 because of my minerals. So I would take the lower number there, 4 instead of 5. Obviously, the inverse would be true if I had more minerals than gas, or if I had a unit that cost more gas than minerals or something like that. So, for example, High Templar. The animation might be bugged. I sent you a message about why that might happen, where it's scripted to only play once currently, because I copied the treasury overlay. So I don't know if you want that to be changed. Well, the Clarion has no frames, so you're just talking about the animation itself is messed up? I don't know. I didn't make it any different than the exemplars, besides the fact that the exemplar actually has different frames. Yeah, I saw it. Thank you. Do I even need this to be a call block then? Oh. Can I have more than one parameter for the range then? Or oh, it's I time. Yeah, never mind. Well, I thought as much, and then you told me that I could do them, so, you know. So what we have here now is something that I can do the so if I was doing something like attack add, then I would do 32 Marine barracks 50-0 and attack add 18 medic barracks. I wish I could do arrays as well. And eventually, I guess I can multiply the, well, I probably wouldn't need to do that since we're basically checking for resources. Oh, I guess what I can do, though, is I can do bring 13 at M. So here I can say, like, don't keep queuing units no matter what your resources are if you only have like so many of these structures. So in this case, if it was just queuing, oh, I guess this should also be I instead, or oh no, it should just be 1. Yeah, because it's doing it in a range of unit quantity. So yeah, I'm glad we both caught that at the same time, basically. But so in this case, we would be checking for, say, like, it's the 5th pass. So they're checking for adding a 5th Marine. And we have, as long as we have 7 or less, because it would be 5 plus 2. But I think I'm checking the wrong thing here. Maybe it should be at least I minus 2. So that, yeah, that should be, so that you have, like, you know, what do you mean return from loop? They're all in the same thing. Yeah, but so would the unit cost and unit gas. Unit cost ore and unit cost gas, which is what you That's what you wrote in your thing too? All that happens after the range is a return anyway, so what is the... What I'm saying is, if you have... Like, if your number of requests is X amount of... Well, we can even do it another way. We can make it more versatile. So we can do... unit train mod. And in this case, we can make it something ridiculous, like 12. But for medics, we would probably want it to be like 75, 25. I don't actually remember the medic cost offhand, but I think it's probably like 50, 25 because I reset it. And we could say like 50, 25. Just 2, like regular. This bring jump, it should be saying if you have... Okay, hold on. So evaluating this expression means that, like, in the case of the medic where you've got a train mod of 2, you're taking the unit quantity, or like the check rather. Like, say you're on the 3rd check because you've added attack add 3 medic already, and you're going back for a 4th pass, and you have the resources. What I want to say is, as long as you have the requested amount, as long as you have at least the requested amount minus 2. So should that be at most instead of at least? So basically, yeah, in the at most case, I would be checking for 0, 1, or 2. So the train mod should be an additional -1 or something if I wanted it to behave correctly. So I'm trying to say... So say I've got enough money to build 10 Marines, but I only have... Well, okay, we'll stick with medics because that's what has the train mod of 2. So what I'm trying to do is say, in this case with the medics, with the train mod of 2, so pretend unit train mod is -2 instead of -% unit train mod. So I'm trying to make it so that the AI says, I've got enough money to make 10 medics, but I only have 8 barracks. I still want to be able to make 10 medics off of 8 barracks. I should probably have a different way of evaluating the amount based on like the cost or the time cost of the unit versus the amount of production structures or something. It's probably a more complicated formula I can do. So in this case, I need to check if they have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 barracks. And if they have... So basically, if they have less than 2... Or if they have less than the number of units they're training minus 2, they can't train anymore. It's the number of units training minus the unit train mod. So actually for medics, it would probably be like 4 or something. But hopefully that explains it more. So basically, I'm taking into account the number of production structures based around the number of... You can't train 50 carriers from one Stargate, even if you have the money for some reason. So basically, I'm never going to request that many from the AI, is what I'm getting at. Oh, I guess medics don't require the mid-bay anymore. Firebats are a little bit trickier because I have to be... Like, the unit requirement is the gallery, but I actually need to check for number of galleries. So that's probably, that would probably require it's like a specific like specialty version of this or whatever, where we do like attack add-on or something, like a more specialized one that checks the. Or I guess not really. I could just check gallery. But the other issue there is, oh, I could do gallery barracks instead, I guess, so that I'm still note towns jumping from both. But the no, like, yeah, okay, that will actually work, I think. I actually like that a lot. So then we would do something like Ghost, Covert, Ops, Barracks, Cyprian. So yeah, in this case, we would build a pretty, like, in theory, this would work, I think. Man, I feel like Pinky. Ugh.
I feel like burning every plant in Gotham.
That's not even how he sounds like anyway. He's like, I burn every plant in Gotham. I can't wait to play more of that game, man. Can't wait for more one-liners. I mean, even if there's nothing else that's nearly as insane as that one line, we still got a lot out of that one line, man. That was a pretty good bit. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's even something else that I need other than the, like, should I even make an offense ASC3 file? Because this seems pretty good, honestly, so. I just wish we weren't limited by defense builds and defense uses. The fact that they're at 20 is fucking insane. Oh yeah, I guess I should. But the other thing is, I'm wondering if I even really need to, you know what I mean? They have defense and offense. I should definitely update the defense ones. I mean, really, I'm just doing functions. I'm just gonna comment this out for now. It's a real fucking weird feeling knowing that suddenly this this area that I knew everything about is now much more. There's much more shit possible. You know what I mean? I mean, like, obviously, all of this stuff was technically possible before, but who the fuck would want to write that? And the fact that we can do a range of things based on unit quantity is absolutely a godsend. Although, I wonder how you're actually generating blocks based on unit quantity. Are you checking to see what the maximum unit quantity is and then generating blocks based on that? You know what I mean? Because like, how can we use something like like an argument as the range argument? Without, I mean, I guess you're taking a look at every single time attack ad is called with that exclamation point, literal, and you're checking the unit quantity, like the matching parameter or whatever, the matching argument in every case, and picking the biggest one and then generating it from there or something. That's pretty fucking. I guess that must be how you're doing it, because I can't think of any other way that you would have to do that. Since you have to generate this stuff, you know, that's pretty cool. Well, what I mean is that you're generating you're generating the stuff here, right? But I need to actually I'm pretty sure I need to actually define the stuff though, don't I? Like I have to actually use the call block or whatever. Oh, I probably need to give it a script name and script ID. Oh wait. Bye. I don't think it worked. Yeah, I was just building the plugins while I messed around with what Veek's been doing. I probably have some syntax error or something. I'm not really sure what it would be though. Do I actually need to have this in here somewhere? Like again, do I need to actually legitimize the call block by virtue of calling it? Because that was my initial assumption, but yeah, and it just resulted in a return with a blank return. It seems to be working. I don't know why they always want to turn. They're moving much faster than they should be, but you said phase link wasn't working yet. Yeah, them having the same acceleration and also having way higher movement speed than they should. Pretty crazy, so they're definitely broken at this point, but that's okay. All right, so if I do it this way, oh, and you left the range in comments. This doesn't seem to have done it. The way that I was hoping it would. Or the way I was thinking it would. Oh, okay. Yeah, are you actually able to use range in the way that I have, where I have a parameter? I mean, I have a function argument instead of a value. Like a preset value. I don't know if that's legal. I'll be right back. Gotta use the bathroom again. I have returned. You planned to make sucking base, KMC gas structure. Well, man. Hey, man. Can you believe how limited we actually are for assets? SMH. Well, I'm glad that I messed around with the, Oh, that's pretty cool. I'm glad I messed around with this because... I don't know if this is supposed to be a bullet point or something. I don't know what happened there. But, this is pretty exciting. Oh, you haven't pushed it yet, I guess. I'm sure it would be a lot easier as a new language, but... most likely not. It's 2 months until the end of full toilet, after which point, yeah, we're mostly going to be focused on that. Sure. I can just send you this ASC3 file. Basically, I assume what broke was related to the quantity, but I'm not sure. Wow, that's a good typo right there. I mean, it knows that unit quantity is supposed to be 32, but for some reason it just didn't do it. Like, look, it even has range I at 132. Oh, is there supposed to be a return inside the range? That was just me not knowing what was going on. Okay. So wait, was I supposed to put a return there or not? Is it omitting what? Of course not, Iquare. I am an idiot when it comes to programming, but I'm a useful idiot, okay? I'm doing all of the grunt work. Yeah, it looks like it's not, it's omitting the return at the end of the call block. Oh, you don't have to worry about me abandoning the project. I'm all in. Trust me. I think once I finish that year-long streak of daily mod streams, I'll take a bit of a break before I kick that, like, start another streak or whatever, but I'll still be doing them pretty regularly. Yeah, I think once we're actually in a more robust, more free-form, liberating environment where we can program whatever the hell we want to program without dealing with hooks and reverse engineering, I think I'll be able to do that stuff. But Veek also made a pretty funny point to me a while back, where he was talking about how my programming, like the way that I learned programming, was dealing with assembly and Rust. That was how I started my programming career, if you will. Just my time with the discipline was all based on that. So I guess I've steeled myself. At least the assembly stuff was useful, but you know. So I think actually, Veek, what's happening with the call block stuff is the return is up here. The return and final end brace are up here, just orphaned. So it's almost like it ignores the stuff with range. So like after range closes the end brace, it's like it closes the end brace for the whole thing, and that's why it's omitting it. I think it's just a guess. I don't know what's actually happening there, but the fact that return and there's a random end brace. It's not that it disappeared. It's over here. Yeah. Okay. So there's something gone wrong with that. I mean, I guess I can just try range 110 and see if that fixes it. No. So it has nothing to do with the range specifically, that issue, I think. That's really weird, though. I don't know about that one. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna go crazy with this stuff, trust me. What if there is no range? Like if I do this? Then return is processed correctly? Yeah. So it's just something to do with the presence of range, I guess? You had some bad personal experience from trying to design games, mainly in terms of motivation, but you were working alone. I don't think it's possible for me to run out of motivation related to working on something that will, like, we're basically building our own environment so that we can make the best content possible. I don't think I could ever run out of motivation for something like that. So were relative keys attacks a good idea? Yeah, I mean it was basically like like an automated, easily approachable way to handle stuff like this. This block here is automating the cost or whatever, so like it's automating the relative attack add. Like it's got this function handles that stuff itself. So oh, I wonder if maybe it has something to do with the fact that blank return doesn't exist in this. Let's try that. Oh. No, same thing happens. That's really weird. Is it user error? You error? I thought I had fucking... That's what I was saying earlier. Yeah, I was just ignoring the bottom brace. I have not tried any of those. But I think you told me, you gave me the syntax for them at some point. I'll have to dig through our DMs and find them again so that I can add them to the documentation. So you basically have to check for other other braces. Veek. It sounds like, anyway. So much for being able to nest everything, like you said earlier. You fuck. Oh my god, what a gay. I guess it's not even like that, right? It's, what? Hold on. I have to pass the same args to this thing, don't I? Oh. Well, never mind. Bye. Yeah, I was gonna say, if a macro is basically just writing this code elsewhere and then you're cloning the code here, it's gonna result in the same thing, so. Alright, well. It's alright, we're getting there. I like how I decided to check out your stuff and then, like, just me checking that out resulted in you adding, like, 6 more things. So that's pretty cool, I guess. I'll tell you what, I will be poking around in here in the next couple of days, but... I'm very interested in finishing up the Clarion and Exemplar stuff, getting those things done. Once those are more or less fully implemented, we will have fully functional tech trees for the Protoss, and all that will be missing are the Star Sovereign and Augur, the final tier units. Augur itself is not that far away from being implemented, which is pretty cool. And let's just close all this stuff for now. Ba-da-ba-ba. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be adding faction-specific stuff. We don't have any more... Well, we have some more unit IDs, but I'm more interested in actually building content. And there's also no real good way to have something that would... Like, the idea was that eventually you would have access to the Sumerian tech tree, but that flies in the face of the idea that you have access to the entire tech tree from the first map. So that was, like, competing, right? And the Sumerians themselves... as like an AI only faction, I guess we could justify adding a bunch of stuff for them, but then it's kind of hard to... I mean, you're never fighting against them, but even though that you'd be fighting alongside them, and you need to know or have some conception of the strength of your allies. And I'm not sure that the scale of the campaign would allow you to really soak in a lot of the battlefield related stuff. I guess if you could see their passive icons or something when you selected them, and so you could read tooltips about them and figure out what the fuck they're doing, that maybe then that could work, because then there'd be a way for you to actually soak up the knowledge. But otherwise, we would have to keep most of the things that we would change for the Sumerians relatively simple, which might still be possible, but we'll see. Yeah, I didn't think Augur was finished anyway, and its death passive that was previously an upgrade needs to be there by default, which I don't think was ever implemented. Yeah. Well, I mean, the way that they had you handle that sort of thing in StarCraft by default was pretty bad as well, I guess. But ultimately, it's just like you attack small squads of this stuff, and you figure out what they do. One of the things that was really dumb is like suddenly my Zerglings and Hydras are moving faster, or my enemies, units are moving faster and attacking from farther ranges and having increased attack speed. And like, if you don't know that there are upgrades for that, then you've got no fucking idea what's happening there. So that was really bad, fucking, like information control, in my opinion. I wonder if maybe it should have more, more shields, but also cost more. I'm not sure though. Well, you could do that, but I mean, I was literally talking about this is something that I've wanted implemented in Hydra for a while. Detected enemy units now show their energy counts, cargo, production queue, and abilities/passives. So what this would mean is that, for example, when you select the an enemy High Templar that you have detected, right, or an allied High Templar, you would see hallucination, psionic storm, and ascendancy, which explains stuff that like targets killed by psi storms and hallucinations. You would see all this stuff, and you would see like just those three buttons on the command card. Would be what you would see when you select an allied High Templar or a detected enemy High Templar. The idea being, you would have the ability to just read that shit on your own time, even if you weren't playing as Protoss, but you had Protoss allies. No, I do not have a design document for the new engine. That'll be stuff that we work on in a couple months. So, like, if you selected an allied Dark Templar, you would also see the Silent Strikes passive, right? You selected a Zergling, you would see the Adrenal Glands passive. Stuff like that, like being able to actually see the passive icons and the ability icons. I think that they would be really useful for that kind of information, basically. I don't know how we would flag buttons as passives. I guess we could just check to see if the condition variable is healing or something. Or I guess you could check condition variable being a use tech and show it that way, because all passives are like that, and of course all abilities are like that. Yeah, he's talking about the button set stuff. Veek got very excited for a moment and then was destroyed. Speaking of destroyed, I do have to go because I have to work and become destroyed. I actually don't work for too long today, though, so I'll be back, and I'll probably get some work done on like a video or some more GPTP hooks or something. So, catch you guys later. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all your help, both of you. Very exciting stuff. Definitely looking forward to seeing more, just tinkering around more with that processor. It's going to be really cool. And yeah. You waved me, you waved you, you. Bye.